Today, European regulatory updates in lung cancer and myeloma, immunotherapy success in a rare melanoma subtype, highlights from the 2017 Cancer Survivorship Symposium, and a statement from ASCO on President Trump's travel ban. Welcome to Enclave News Network. I'm Gina Columbus. The European Commission has expanded the indication for pembrolizumab to include the frontline treatment of patients with metastatic non-small cell lung cancer that expresses PD-L1 on more than 50% of cells and does not harbor an EGFR or ALK mutation. The approval was based on data from Phase 3 KEYNOTE-024 trial and followed a positive opinion from the Committee for Medicinal Products for Human Use, which was granted in December 2016. In the pivotal trial, frontline pembrolizumab reduced the risk of death by 40% and improved progression-free survival by 4.3 months compared with standard doublet chemotherapy for patients with metastatic PD-L1 positive NSCLC. The estimated 6-month overall survival rate was 80.2% with pembrolizumab versus 72.4% with chemotherapy. The median PFS was 10.3 months with pembrolizumab versus 6 months with chemotherapy. The European Medicines Agency's Committee for Medicinal Products for Human Use has recommended approval of Lenalidomide as a maintenance therapy following autologous stem cell transplant for patients with newly diagnosed multiple myeloma. The positive opinion is based on data from the Phase 3 CALGB 100104 and IFM 200502 trials. Both studies were unblinded after post-ASCT maintenance lenalidomide was found to significantly reduce the risk of disease progression or death in patients with myeloma. Findings of a meta-analysis of the CALGB 100104, IFM 200502, along with a third randomized Phase 3 trial, showed that maintenance lenalidomide following frontline treatment with high-dose melphalan and ASCT reduced the risk of death by 26% versus placebo or no maintenance in patients with multiple myeloma. Results also showed that the 7-year overall survival rate was 62% with maintenance lenalidomide versus 50% in patients who did not receive the therapy. The European Commission will now review the CHMP recommendation. A final approval decision for use in the European Union is expected in approximately 2 months. A study presented during the 2017 European Cancer Congress in Amsterdam showed that treatment with the PD-1 inhibitor pembrolizumab demonstrated durable activity in 3 clinical trials in previously treated patients with a rare subtype of melanoma. Among patients with advanced disease treated with pembrolizumab in the KEYNOTE-001, KEYNOTE-002, and KEYNOTE-006 studies, patients with mucosal melanoma had a median duration of response of 27.6 months. Additionally, the objective response rate in the patients with mucosal melanoma was 19%, while the disease control rate was 31%. The median progression-free survival rate was 2.8 months, and the median overall survival rate was 11.3 months. The Cancer Survivorship Symposium took place in San Diego, California over the last week, highlighting a variety of survivorship issues that arise throughout the cancer care continuum. Among the notable studies presented at the symposium, one abstract highlighted patient feedback indicating that the treatment benefits with brentuximab vedotin outweigh the risk of peripheral neuropathy that is associated with the antibody-drug conjugate. Results of another trial showed that patients who are diagnosed with thyroid cancer prior to the age of 40 were more likely to be at an increased risk of late effects such as hypertension, heart disease, and osteoporosis, compared with patients diagnosed at age 40 or older. And another trial of interest found that an online coping curriculum improved fatigue and depression in breast cancer survivors. Researchers at Duke University developed an online self-care coping skills curriculum called Reimagine, which is centered on solution-focused thinking about stressors and cognitive reframing. The program, which has evolved over several years, was found to reduce symptoms of both depression and fatigue, but not pain, in breast cancer survivors when compared with those assigned to usual care. And finally, the American Society of Clinical Oncology released a statement that the Trump administration's restrictions on travel from 7 Middle Eastern countries will limit the exchange of ideas. In a press release, ASCO said that more than 10,000 people worldwide participate in its scientific meetings, the largest which is held annually in Chicago in late May to early June. In their statement, ASCO said that millions of cancer survivors are alive today because of the progress made possible by scientific collaboration, and progress against the disease will falter if the close-knit global community of cancer care providers is divided by policies that bar members of certain nationalities from entering the U.S. to conduct research, care for people with cancer, or participate in scientific and medical conferences. The organization also called for an end to unjustified barriers to scientific exchange and medical education, explaining that the organization was working with public officials so they understand the executive order's impact. That's all for today. Thank you for watching Enclave News Network. I'm Gina Columbus.